let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes.
All right, great. So I have added some useful resources in this slide, such as Ultimate Guide is going to be great for you to have a look on that. We covered a certification exam outline in a pretty good detail in this class as well and the previous one as well. So just to give you an idea of the breadth of topics that we're going to be covering in each of the 8 domains. Uh, Keep these CBK suggested references always handy with you, such as NIST documents and other reference articles, as mentioned by ICSSP, because it's going to help you prepare well for your exam and also for your practical jobs. So keep these references handy. Now, let's take a look on some of the prerequisites for this CISSP certification. So apart from passing this exam, in order to be recognized as a certified individual, you either need to have a 5 years full-time paid experience, or it's fine if you have 4 years, as long you have a degree with you in the relevant field, or you might have 4 years experience plus you have one of the certifications that is on the approved list of ISSK, such as CISM, CISA Security Plus, CCNA Security. I think most of you will have it because you've been in the industry and you're pursuing a CSSP certification. So I expect that most of you will be carrying at least one of them. So for you, most probably it will be 4 years experience in 2 or more of the 8 domains we have in the CBK common body of knowledge. In case if you don't have the required experience, don't sit back. Still, you can and pursue your certification, but you will have 6 years to complete this 5 year experience requirement. Lastly, it's very important to agree and exercise compliance to ISS Code of Ethics, which is one of the first points in the course outline 1.1, where it is referring the code of ethics that you need to agree and comply with. So as we progress further, we'll take a look on that as well. Here we go. This is very important, and I think all of you will be looking to have some tips when it comes to CISSP exam. CISSP exam is not linear anymore. For the last couple of years, we are now being presented with a adaptive testing while we are doing our test. Adaptive, as you can see from the word, is trying to adapt. The software is adapting itself based on the way you are answering the question. So if you are answering well, then it becomes harder and harder with the passage of time. I still recall that, I mean, for in my case, the first couple of questions I feel that very easy, then it started to become tough and tougher and tougher as I progressed in my exam, and it stopped at question number 100. It might get stopped on 100, or it might not get stopped on 100. So there are different scenarios. So let me go point by point. So minimum 100, maximum 150 questions. But keep in mind that 25 items are unscored, so they call it pre-test items. So you won't know if the question is scored or unscored. You need to consider all of them in the same attention. So, but keep in mind that there are questions that are unscored. You will have 3 hours to complete your test. You can't go back. Once you click next, there's no chance you can come back. So make sure that if you decide on any option, it's your final one. Once you commit it, you cannot decommit. If you maintain the 70% score until you see the question number 100, then you will the exam will stop and you will be requested to take your report from the counter. Okay. If at question number 100, system calculate that you don't have a chance to pass the exam, it will close the exam automatically. But if this extreme is not met in both the cases, then and the system can't determine your pass or fail percentage, then it will continue the exam until it figures out that you have the chance to pass it. So it might stop anywhere in this. Once you pass the question number 100, don't panic. Just do your best, and you never know. You get a pass score from there as well. So if you cross question number 100, it doesn't mean that you're going to fail always. Now, if you take a look on exam question types and my suggestions that I have written over here. So let's take a look on some of the exam question types. So mainly multiple choice questions with a single or multiple options to select. Uh, some are pretty straightforward. You simply ask for a definition or a concept or theory. Some are more involved, where they're asking you for the best practice or best response in a given situation or scenario. So they expect from you that you understanding the scenario, you are choosing the best practice, either the best practice or the best response. Maybe the one that you're choosing here is a best response but not the best practice. So but you might not always take the best practice as a precedent, because I told you you need to align the security with your business strategy. So you might have to tweak the best practice or accept a risk for a certain time until you have the budget with you. So you need to choose between best practice and best response, considering your organizational business strategy. So very important, either you will go with the best practice or best response. But it doesn't mean that you always go with the best practice, because yes, it is a best practice, but it does not align with my business strategy, or it does not align with my budget constraints. So very important, either you go with the best practice or best response, but make sure you understand the scenario well and your organizational needs as requested by as presented in the question. This is a type of exam where you will see keywords like most, least, ultimate, not, best, worst keywords in your exam question. So what is the most important? What is the least important? What is the ultimate responsible? Is not, like negative questions. Best approach, as I said, best practice or best response, worst case scenario. All these things uh, you need to see the questions from that perspective as well. Yes, you know that implementing a firewall is important, or implementing technical control is important, but if you need to choose between a policy and a technical control, what is the most important to fix the problem? Yes, you will go and fix the policy. So you need to think it from that. So this is a mindset you need to have. And definitely once you finish up this training course, and you go and practice a lot of practice questions as available from Cybex and other, as I have referenced in the coming slides as well. They will help you to get prepared more on that. One of my suggestion here is to try to eliminate the wrong answers first, so you will have less options to work with. So if it's giving you 4 options, most likely 1 or 2 will be irrelevant, so simply skip them, and then you will have 1 or 2 2 or 3 options to play with and have your thought process. So you can then apply the same more mentioned keywords like most, least keywords, and try to figure out what would be the best case scenario. My advice: to read the question twice and answer options as well. Don't rush, but don't waste the time as well. So if you spend too much time on one question, eventually you will be running out of the time, which will be a problem for you, because if you fail because of the timer, your fee will be fortified. So make sure you don't waste time, but you don't rush as well. So there should be a balance that you need to apply. Take a look on the, always keep a look on the exam timer, because yes, you might have the expertise, but they are judging you in a limited time frame. So you need to apply all those thought processes and all those intelligence on the questions within the given timeline. uh, like if you have, like for example, if you take the industry recognized certification such as CCI, it has 8 hours lab, and they are asking you so many things to do it in the 8 hours lab. And if you don't follow the timing, most of the people just fail it because they don't complete the labs in the time. But it doesn't mean that they if they are given the same job in the real world scenario, they won't be able to complete it. It's just because the time was short. So it has to be utilized in a proper fashion. Now, as per my experience, CISSP questions require a thought process. So, if you are going with option number one, then you should understand why the other options are wrong or less relevant compared to the right option. So, not it won't be the case that they give you one option and the other options are wrong, all wrong. No, they are either wrong or they are less relevant. They are expecting you that you understand the best practice, you understand the best response, and you understand what is good for your organization in a given circumstances. So one is better than other. So you need to figure out, you need to apply your thought process on each question, because they're not going to give you straightforward questions most of the time. Maybe initially in your exam, when it starts, straightforward questions might come, but as you progress, then the questions will become more and more tough, and those questions are requiring thought process. So if option one is correct, then you need to compare it with the other options and see why the other options are wrong or less relevant. I still remember I was using my dry erase notepad very much. So, and sometime it helped me to apply my thought process and jot down my thoughts. So it's very important that you use it as much as possible, and it also serves as a way for once you will pass the exam. So for ISC Scare to see your thoughts as you are writing them down. So it definitely helps in all scenarios. Lastly, keep calm. It's very important. If you're writing the exam, try to control your nerves. I know this is a pressure moment. You have invested time, you have invested energies, you have invested money as well, and it's very difficult to get nervous in this situation. But try to keep as much as calm as you can, because it's gonna be improving your capabilities and your responses to the questions. Because if you are not calm, you will do mistakes that in other scenarios you might not do if you are sitting calm. So try to be calm as much as possible. Even if you fail it, you will not lose anything. Still, you are making some progress toward your CISSP goal. If you fail, no worries. Come back with more preparation, and you will do it with the grace of Almighty. Now, some of the apart from this training, I would also suggest to have a look on some of the supporting books as a reference. Some of them you will go maybe cover to cover. Some of them just you use it for the reference. Primarily, the book that I am going to recommend to you is Cybex CISSP 9th edition. So, as I'm doing this course, you are well advised to buy a copy for Cybex, or subscribe to Safari Books online or similar platform like O'Reilly, and get a subscription. You can easily find it, I think, $30-40 per month, and you get access to a bunch of books, including Cybex 9th edition, CBK 6th edition, Sean Harris, which is McGraw-Hill all-in-one. Recently, they also published 9th edition in December 2021. So you can use this book as a reference as well. It's a very, very important book to have, not only as a CISSP, but as a security practitioner. You need to have this always with you as a reference point, because it's covering things in a very large, almost consisting on 1400 pages. So a very handy book to keep with you in as you are, as a dictionary, I would say, for you as a security professional. Then some of the practice questions that I would highly recommend to acquire are Cybex 3rd edition, and you can register it online at ville.com. Then for McGraw-Hill, they also have 5th edition. I think the 6th one will be coming shortly, if I'm not mistaken. You can also register it online at Total Tester. Also, you can take some other test engines such as Boson exams. They also have online test engine. You can register with that as well. CBK suggested references as listed on ISC Scared website, and I have included a link in the earlier slide as well, and you can take a look on that as well. Apart from this, you can also take a look on some other supporting references. I'm not saying that you should take all, but at least one or two of them, such as Cybrary, Cygreen, and some other resources that's going to be helping you throughout your journey. Because CISSP demands you to not only rely on one resource, you need to see the information from different perspective, from different people, so that if they are missing one thing, you can catch it from there. Path to certification. So you have the pre-qualification, you pass the exam. What's next? The next step to get your CISSP certification is an endorsement. Someone who has someone who is an active member of ISSCare, because they are having one or more of their certifications and they are maintaining it as well, and they are in good standing. They can endorse your experience, or in case if the endorser is not available, you can ISSCare itself can be your endorser as well. So you need to contact them. Within passing your exam, you will receive the email if you pass it. In your cases, if you pass the exam, allow for the 2 or 3 days for ISSCare to get back to you and give you a confirmation about your pass score, and then they will give you 9 months from the exam date to complete this endorsement process. Not to stop on CISSP, CISSP is definitely covering multiple angles of information security. But if you want to go and concentrate on specific domains or concepts or architectures or topics to be specific, you can drill down into other considerations as well, such as ISAP and ISSMP and engineering professional as well, security engineering professional as well. So these are some of the tracks you can pursue after acquiring your certification.